Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to another video. And in today's video we're gonna be kind of like talking and planning for the next year and kind of brainstorming about all the projects that I want to be part of for the next year. Whether I want to keep the projects I'm currently doing, adding any new ones, or leaving some behind. And I thought I'm gonna do this as a get ready with me, and I'm gonna be using a lot of my project products currently. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. In case you're new here, hi, my name's Sasha. I love indie makeup, I love colorful makeup, I love eyeshadows. I do a lot of different projects. I do Pendos eyeshadows, Pendos palettes, Project Level Up, Project 20 Uses, Palette Crush of the Month. So hopefully you'll find something that you're interested in, and we might be adding some other projects for next year as well. So hopefully that is something that you will be into. And now let's just start with the makeup. I already brushed my brows, and in my brows, since I have a new hair color, I'm gonna use the Smitten palette by Diavrune and the shade Right Meow, this one. And I think I'm gonna actually mix it with a shade from my current project Level Up, which is this Haggard Ectasy of Saintess. And I'm gonna use this darkest shade, which is called the Norns. So I'm gonna mix these two. And by the way, I'm pre-filming this video quite a bit because I didn't want it to spoil any progress in my like palettes and stuff. So I didn't want it to film it on the day that you're watching this. I'm actually pre-filming it by more than a week, almost 2 weeks. Yeah, I thought this is gonna be nice color, so that I can really like, so that you will not really know what progress I made. Like obviously you will know how the palettes look like right now, but for you, if you are concerned with the timeline, I just got back from Sweden. I've only been here a couple days. So yeah, that's where we are currently. And I wanted my progress to be a real surprise for this month. So I'm not actually, so I decided to pre-film this quite a bit. And I actually have a really good progress, especially on my Pendos palettes. Like for my Merry Christmas palette, I've been really using it a lot for on my vacation. And I also made another get ready with me 2 days ago. For you it's like over a week ago. It's probably like 2 weeks ago for you actually, where I talked about my vacation in Sweden. So that was 2 days ago. And when it comes to next year, obviously like nothing that I'm gonna mention right now is like legally binding. I will know what projects I'm feeling like doing probably like around December or January. Like right now it's really just me brainstorming, but I cannot tell you for sure because I don't know where my channel is gonna be in like 4.5 months. I don't know how I'm gonna feel. I don't know what I'm gonna, like how much work I'm gonna have in my day job. And also like I'm gonna be, technically next year I should be finishing my master's degree, but I'm gonna be studying for a year longer because there's just no way that I could make everything in time because I've just been swamped with work, like with my day work. So I just, with my teaching job, so I just can't really focus on school as much as I would want to. I'm gonna use my Superlock brow glue. So the projects that I know I want to do because I love them, I've been really enjoying them this year, and they have been making me super happy, is Pendos eyeshadows. That's so fun and like genuinely one of my favorite projects of this year. And then Panda palette. I don't know what my Panda palette for next year is gonna be. I will let you vote on that, but I think it's also gonna be very much dependent on how far I'm gonna get with my this year's Pendos palettes because I have quite a bit. I have the Merry Christmas and Christmas Eve that are rolling over from last year, and the Liana palette from Shelly Makeup that is also rolling over from last year. And I really am doing my best to completely use up the Woodens eye palette, and I really want to use up the Liana palette as well. And then I thought I could use up the Mini Charms palette for Beauty Bay. I'm gonna use the Artdeco eyeshadow primer, which is a new palette for this year. It's been introduced for this year for the first time, and I almost have a pan in every single shade. I'm only missing one shade to like hit a pan on, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to use up all of them. Like I feel like there could be maybe like 2 or 3 shades that I'm gonna have used up by the end of the year, which means that I'm gonna be left with 6 shimmery shades, which is not bad. Like that, I can work with that for next year. And obviously I think I'm gonna be able to hit a pan on every single shade in my Salmona 2 palette by Woodens Eye, which was my goal for this palette for this year. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to use up any shade from that palette. Maybe the black matte, because I have very little of it, and maybe the blue matte, like the light blue matte. I feel like those could happen, maybe even the light yellow matte. Otherwise, I'm not completely sure. So there is a very good possibility that the Salmona 2 and the Beauty Bay Mini Charms will be rolling over for next year. And I feel like that could be enough for next year because I don't want to like burn myself out. I don't want to overwhelm myself. So I feel like maybe I'm just going to keep these two, finish them up. And then if I'm going to do that before the next year's ends, I might just introduce another palette later in the year. That's my like thought process right now. But as I said, I'm going to let you vote on that. But I would definitely like to use up the Salmona 2 palette because technically this summer, like around the time that you're watching this, I think was the time where I bought this palette, if I remember that correctly. So it's gonna be technically expired after this summer. And I know that eyeshadows can be kept for longer than that. I'm gonna use the Show You Makeup Liana palette, but I'm actually gonna use this shade, which is a deep potted shade from the Merry Christmas palette. It's one of the 2 shades that I still have left, and it's called New Leaf, and it might look significantly different from the last time that you saw it because this one is disappearing with every single use because it's just like a paper thin layer. Each day the pan expands like crazy, so I have all my like I trust that in my Panda palette update I'm gonna be done with this shade, which would make me very happy because I've been working on it for a very long time and I've used it every single day in my vacation in my brows, and sometimes even and like maybe 4 times also as an eyeshadow. So yeah, it's been used a lot. So I'm gonna use it in the first half of the eye. So where was I? So yeah, the Salmona palette, it's not just the fact that it's older, but it's also the fact that I can see that some shades are not the same quality that they were. They're still like usable, like I can still work with them, but they definitely changed the formula a little bit. And especially compared to everything else I have from Woodens Eye, this palette just isn't as great. I noticed that the deeper shimmers are kind of harder to pick up and a little bit harder to use, and then some of the shades are starting to kind of form like clumps almost, and then the matte shades, some of them are a little bit more waxy than they were before, and some are starting to be very powdery. So it is changing formula a bit, and I am kind of concerned about that palette, so I do want to use it up for next month, but for next year. But maybe I'm gonna pick another companion palette instead of the Beauty Bay Mini Charms. That is still an option. I'm gonna use this shade called Christmas Tree, which is the second shade from the Merry Christmas palette that I still have left, and I want to use up. I've been working on this one for so long that it's starting to get to me. Like I am starting to slightly not hate it, but you know, I wouldn't mind having less green in my life, but we're so close to finishing that, so I'm just gonna power through. So Pando's eyeshadows, Panda palette, that is for certain. I've been loving the Project Level Up. Technically, I still haven't really done the full version because I'm on level 5, but it's my first round, and for the first round, I decided to only pick my palettes myself, so I'm not using any like random generator or anything, like I'm picking them by hand. And it's been really nice, but it's also like the fact that I picked these palettes. So like I picked palettes that I thought would be hard enough, you know, like that it wouldn't completely break me, but also they wouldn't be like a walk in the park. I picked the first 2 levels like super easy because I didn't know fully what I'm getting into. But now, once I hit my level 5 and I'm gonna go back to level 1, I will start using the random, the Tiny Decisions app to like pick my palettes randomly. And I feel like that's when it's gonna start to get really hard. So I still wanna continue with Project Level Up, but I will see how hard it's gonna be when it's actually gonna be picked for myself. And when it's gonna be randomized. So that, oh my god, this eyeshadow is also disappearing in front of my eyes. Like they're both so thin, they've been repressed so many times, so it's literally just like a 1 ply of toilet paper thickness. Anyways, so yeah, Project Level Up also is a project that I would like to keep up. Then I'm doing the, I don't know if this is like technically considered a project, but I love the eyeshadow bag and I will continue with that. I've gotten a lot of comments in my latest eyeshadow bag, and I feel like I forgot in that video to clarify the way it works for me. I'm not fully on a no-buy. I'm not even like technically on a low-buy. I am trying to buy as little as I can, but like I'm not punishing myself for buying products. Like if I decide that I want to buy 5 palettes, if they're all palettes that I really want, then I'm gonna buy them. And for me, it's just a project that helps me keep my collection kind of even and to make, like, I still want to, I know that my collection will grow. You know, hitting a pan on something doesn't mean that you're gonna magically, like, make your collection smaller. So I know that my collection will always grow unless I stop completely purchasing products. And it's not really about that for me. It's just to make myself a little bit more conscious and make sure that if I bring something in, I have at least a couple like pans and couple of shades that I've worked on to kind of earn it in a way and feel a little bit more like it's a little bit more balanced. It's never gonna be fully balanced, and I'm very aware of that. You don't have to tell me that. I am aware of that. But you know, I just wanna be a little bit more conscious. I've been duping a lot this year, which has been amazing. But you know, if I really feel like something intrigues me and I want to have it, I will have it. And I'm not gonna like stop myself just because I don't have points in my eyeshadow bag. Like it's not that deep. It just kind of to almost like gamify my experience with panning and just with using eyeshadows. I am someone who loves numbers and Excel spreadsheets and stuff like that. So it just makes me kind of really happy to go through my Excel spreadsheet and see how many shades I've used 10 times or 20 times, or, you know, like what's my most used shade, what's my most used palette. Like I'm nerdy like that, okay? And it's something that I really enjoy. So for me, it's just like a fun little thing. And I have a lot of different categories to earn points, and I do work on the eyeshadow bank a little bit differently than a lot of people who are on no buys and low buys, which makes sense because I'm not technically part of any of that. Like I wouldn't mind spending less and having less palettes brought into my collection because I don't have that much space. Like technically I can always make space, but I don't really want to make space for more palettes. And also I would like to, and I think I've said that multiple times, I would like to save up for a nice camera. I've been saving up for a while, but every single time I save something and I feel like, you know, I'm gonna use it, now is the time, something happens and I have to spend the money somewhere else. So, you know, I feel like the world is against me on this. I want to lighten the inner area, but I don't know. I might use the Adventure Time palette. This one is going to be one that isn't in any project. And I'm going to use the Marshmallow Kit, the white one. So I don't know if this is classified as project, but I will continue with the eyeshadow bank. At least I am planning to. And then for other projects. So I'm doing the Project 20 uses, and that is something that I would like to kind of change a little bit for next year. I still want to continue with this, but how I do my Project 20 uses is that I randomly pick 5 palettes that I have to use for 20 looks before I can replace them with another palette. And I still want to keep it that way, but I was thinking about, instead of 5, rolling 10 products, but 5 of them would be eyeshadows, like eyeshadow palettes, and the other 5 would be face products. And they would be randomly picked for my entire collection, and I would just use them 20 times and then roll them over, so that the project would keep moving a little bit better, because obviously using a palette 20 times, if you're also panning if you're also working on panning, takes a while. So usually I had like 1 palette every single month that I would roll out, sometimes even 2, but that was like very, very good months. I'm gonna use the Shine On Primer from Cleonat. So I feel like it would move a little bit more if I also had other products, because if I would have like lipstick there or concealer or something, like concealer is something I can use every single day, or if it was a blush, technically, if it's like neutral enough, I can use it every single day as well. So, you know, like something that would keep the project moving. So I do want to keep the Project 20 uses, but I think I'm gonna expand it for makeup as well, like face makeup. But that kind of also leaves a question, because I wanted to start doing the year-long project pan, the rolling project pan, which is that you roll, I don't know, like 10 products in your makeup collection that you wanna pan to do till the end, and then you exchange it with something else in your collection. Which I don't know, like I really want to do this project, but this year I've been doing the 25 in 2025, so I've been trying to like pan 25 products this year. And I would still want to do this for next year, like 26 products. But then if I also have this rolling project pan and also the Project 20 uses, I feel like that would be way too much to add. So should I just do the Project 20 uses with the makeup products as well, and then do the rolling project pan, which technically would consist of things that I would want to pan anyways in my like 26 things to pan. So technically it would be the same products, just in a different format. Or should I do the Project 20 uses and the 26 things to pan, or should I do all 3 of these? Which I feel like would be hard, but I also want to know your opinion. So let me know, what do you think would be better for me? And I'm going to use the shade Full Bloom from the Liana palette, which I feel like I could hit a pan soon. Yeah, I was right, because you're getting exclusive. Yeah, so I am kind of like, I don't know if it's just me being stubborn and wanting to keep the 26 in 2026, just for the sake of keeping it. But I feel like maybe I would enjoy more like the Project 20 uses extended and the rolling project ban. But also I know that the rolling project ban for some people is literally like a product that takes them 2 years. But then I feel like I wouldn't put that much pressure on me, because if I say that I want to pan 26 things in 2026, and I will specifically say which things I want to pan, I feel a little bit more pressure to actually do it. Whereas if it's in the rolling project pan, like I know I'm always gonna roll something out. So if it's products that would take like 300, 400 uses, I'm not putting that much pressure on myself to finish it by the end of the year. You know what I mean? So, and I guess it would be a little bit more interesting in the fact that, you know, like it's changing every month, whereas the 26 things, it's literally just a list that you keep working on for the entire year. So I don't know. I really want your opinion on this. Now I'm gonna use this, which I think is Kenosis from the Haggard palette. I'm gonna use that on the lid. So that is a little like change that I want to make, maybe. Then I would love to start a Pendant face palette, but it wouldn't be done in a way that you're probably used to, because I only have one face palette that I only used once because it was a gift, and it's a face palette from Glam Shop. As I just said, like, I've literally only used it once. It was a gift. It wasn't something that I actually purchased, because I don't think I would ever purchase a face palette. I just don't know what it's supposed to do for me. Like, I never like a face palette. Like, either I like the blush there, but I don't know what to do with the bronzer because I normally don't use bronzer, and the highlighter is too neutral for me. Because in case you don't know, I do like very sparkly duochrome iridescent highlighters. Or, you know, like, I never like the full product. So if I would do Pendant face palette, it would probably just be a collection of probably depotted blushes and highlighters that I have in my collection that I wanna use up. Which I think that's how Caitlin Costello is doing it this year as well. Or it's not like depotted shades, but it's just like random products from her collection that she chose for this. And I think I would like to do it kind of similarly, and to just work on a couple of the products. And I'm gonna use the Heart of Saintess, this shade. And I feel like that could be a way for me to maybe use up some of the older face products in my collection that definitely should be used up. But the problem is most of the products that I should be using up in the next year are liquids, and I don't know if that would be like interesting for you, but maybe I could keep the liquids for the Project 20 uses and the rolling project pan, and then do the couple powder products for the Pendant palette, for the Pendant face palette. Like, maybe that could also work. So that is a new project that I am really intrigued to introduce for next year. I don't know how well it's gonna work, but I am genuinely thinking about it. Now I'm gonna use the Silvery Snake for the inner corner. So that's one of the projects. So Pendant palette, project level up, Pendant face palette, project 20 uses, maybe rolling project pan. I don't know if I said Pendant's eyeshadows, project level up. Yeah, those are the projects. Then I was thinking about doing the Pendant palette in order, because I've been really intrigued by that again. I've been really thinking about it, and I have a palette that is a bigger palette. It has 20 shades, but I've used it a lot this year, last year, and stuff like that. Like, I think I've used that palette for maybe like 55, 60 looks. Like, I've used that palette a lot, and I think it already has like 1 or 2 pans, maybe just 1, but a lot of the shades are very close to pan. Like, I feel like within 5 uses for a lot of these shades I could have a pan, so it wouldn't be that hard. And I really want that palette to look the way that I love it, which is a lot. So I wanted to have pans. So that's the Pendant palette in order that I would love to do. I already have kind of picked the palette, and I'm just very excited about that project. I've actually had that idea for almost 3 months now, but I didn't want it to start this project in the middle of the year. So I'm gonna wait for next year, because I'm kind of doing a lot now. But for next year, I would really want to do that. It just sounds like such a fun project that I would just enjoy very much. I'm gonna do it in the waterline. So pen that palette in order, and I would also like to try the A to Z project pen because I have a couple palettes in my collection that are getting a little bit older. And I do want to make them my focus palettes, whether in my pen those eyeshadows, because I usually have, like, out of the 5 shades, 3 shades are for my focus palettes. And there are a couple palettes in my collection that are a little bit older, and either they are getting closer to being expired or possibly expired, or I just feel like they should look more well loved, considering the fact that I really do love them and I have used them for many times. So I feel like the A to Z project pen could help me like actually show them the love that it deserves, because lately, if products haven't been in a project or in a seasonal collection, I usually wouldn't find much time to actually use them. So this is just me trying to also give love to older products that I don't mention in like seasonal collections and stuff like that all that often, because I know you can't get them anymore, or at least most of them, and I just don't want to be annoying. So the A to Z, I already kind of searched through the palettes that I am thinking about making my like focused palettes, and I already picked the shades. Like obviously something can change, like maybe I'm gonna hit a pan in them this year, so obviously I'm gonna have to change that for next year, but I kind of already made a little list of possibilities so that when I'm deciding in like December or January, I have a little bit of I already have a bit of idea of what I want to do. And yeah, this just, but I'm using the L'Oreal Panorama mascara. So that's another project that I'm thinking about. So how many projects would that be? The Pen That Face palette, Pen That palette, Pen Those eyeshadows, Project Level Up, Pen That palette in order, A to Z project pen, project 20 uses, and the rolling project pen. It would be 7 projects. Some of them are eyeshadow based, but some of them would also be face products. So it's more than I'm doing right now. But I would love to introduce face products more, and B, I don't know, I've just been really enjoying these projects lately. It's been a lot of fun, and since I do want to continue uploading every single day, and obviously I can't do like reviews every single day because I don't want to review that much. Like I think I want to review like maybe 2 palettes a month. I don't really want to do more than that because I have a rule of no pen left behind the palettes that I'm reviewing for the initial review, and then for my monthly haul I always try to use every single shade 3 times, which if it's a bigger palette, that can literally take me 2 or 3 weeks to do. So if I were to review more than 2 bigger palettes, like I couldn't focus on any of my other projects, and I do want to focus on projects. So since I'm gonna be hopefully posting, and obviously this depends, if I realize that I can't post every single day next year, I won't be able to do that many projects. But if I still want to continue posting every single day, and I do want to do that, I do kind of need content. And apart from that, I obviously have my weekly makeup news and weekly makeup diaries, which are 2 videos a week. Then sometimes there's the review, sometimes there's the project, and sometimes I have like a collection, a swatch party, I don't know, get ready with me, but that's kind of it. Sometimes I have movie reactions, which I do want to do a little bit more, like hopefully like 1 or 2 a month. I haven't been very good at that. I've been usually doing 1 every like 6 weeks or so. So that's not really what I want. I want to, focus on it a little bit more, because again, it just makes me happy. And if you were kind of paying attention, you might notice that I haven't mentioned my Palette Crush of the Month, which is a project that I created this year, and it's essentially about picking a palette, or you can even randomly generate it if you want to, but a palette that you will use every single time you do your makeup in a month. For me, it means every single day because I do makeup every single day, but it can just mean every single time you do your makeup, you have to use that palette. You don't have to just use that palette. You can absolutely use it for just like 1 or 2 shades if you want. But by the way, I use the Superstay. I use it every single time I do my makeup. So that has been a little bit harder for me lately with, like, if I really want to have some use on my new palettes that I'm reviewing, have use on my Project Level Up, Pendos Eyeshadows palette, Project 20 uses palettes, and also my seasonal collection palettes, because I always pick palettes that are specific for a season and I do want to use them in that season. Like, what's the point of having summery palette that I bought to use in summer and not use it at all? Like, that makes no sense. So I do wanna still do that, and then it's extremely hard to fit in the Fat Crush of the month, even for just one shade. Like, usually for like third of the uses of that palette in a month, it's literally just me using it either as a blush, a brow color, or highlighter. Sometimes I'm able to use it for all 3 of those occasions, so that I have like maybe like 3 to 6 uses, 3 to 6 shades that I touch every single day just thanks to that. But otherwise, like, I usually don't have space on my eyes to use it there for all that much. It's usually just like maybe 1 shimmer shade or 1 matte shade or 1 inner corner. Like, I don't really get to use it more on my eyes. I do try to like nope and left behind it and stuff like that, but that's as much as I can do. And I feel like if I weren't doing that many projects, if I didn't try to rotate through my collection, like, I know people who only use like maybe 2 palettes a month and then they choose other palettes and that's how they do it. But A, I don't think it really works with Panda palette, and B, even if I didn't have Panda palette, like, I like to change it up all the time. Like, for the summer, I'm here at my grandparents' house, and I just brought my project products and then the palettes that I'm reviewing, the 2 that I'm reviewing, and 2 other that I will review. And I literally have like maybe 15 palettes here in front of me, here in the drawers, because I just need the variety, and also I want to work on my project. So then it's really hard to also have time to use something every single day. And even though I love this project, obviously I created it and I think it's a really fun project, I feel like I'm gonna have to wait for a different part, for a different time in my makeup journey to be able to do that and to enjoy this project. But I do wanna, so I think I'm gonna kind of pause it. I definitely will continue with Fat Crush of the Month for next month, but I don't know if I'm gonna finish this year with that project. We'll see, like, that really depends. I'm gonna do a liner. I actually saw this kind of similar liner design yesterday on TikTok, and if I'll remember who it was from, I will put it on the screen. So there's quite a bit of project that I want to be part of next year, and we'll see how it's gonna go. We'll see if I'll, like, how I'm gonna do with them. Okay, something like this. I feel like that's cute. And then, I don't know, I want to do like a swirl. Here, maybe like this. So it kind of looks like I have like intricate glasses on. I'm gonna finish up the look and I'll be right back. Okay, so here's the final look. I just added my Project Pan lipstick, which is the shade Shadow Creature from Odin's Eye and Hela. And Angelica Nyquist collab. I have the Revolution Fast Base Brush and Peach, which is also a project product. And then I mixed as a highlighter the shade, I think this one is called Infinity, from the Be The Mini Champs that I mentioned in the beginning. And I mixed that with the Smith & Pa by the Evren and the shade Floofy, this one. And I accidentally put my finger in there. So, let me know what you think about this look. I think it's really fun. Like, it's definitely a little bit different, but I love it. And let me know what you think about the projects that I want to introduce and kind of like my plans for next year. I'll still need to like have a think about it, but I've had this plan. I've actually wrote down this plan like maybe 2 months ago, and I'm still feeling very excited to do that. So I feel like I should at least try, and I can always just leave some projects behind. But let me know what you think, what you would recommend to me, if I should maybe, if you know about any like alternation or like alternative ways to do these projects, because I know a lot of people change it up a bit to fit their own style. So if you have any recommendations for me, I would really enjoy hearing from you. If you have any like favorite banners or like people in this community that you would want to recommend to me. I do have a couple people that I follow. Obviously, I love Sophie Alexandra. I love Kenton Costello. Those are the two that I watch the most of, but I also have a lot of other banners that I follow very closely, that I follow and that I watch most of their videos, and it makes me very happy. And it just really excites me to be part of this community and try to expand my my attempts. But I would still really want to know how you feel about this, and if you would even be interested in seeing projects like these. But that's it for today. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Here is that little band that we were able to create today, which, hey, I've been kind of counting the days for this shit because I felt like it's gonna happen in the past like 5 uses and it didn't happen. So today, I feel so accomplished. So yeah, let me know down below. Like this video if you've enjoyed it. And in case you're new here, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe. So have a wonderful day and bye.